Good afternoon, everyone. We will be starting in a while. We'll just wait for a couple of minutes for others also to join. So before we begin, I'll just introduce you to the speakers of today. Today we have Namrata, who is right there on the screen. So Namrata is a part of the standards team and, will be helping us with more such awareness sessions. And we will also be having Snehashish, who heads the standards in, NASSCOM. So today, what Namrata will be guiding us, or you kind of make you aware about, is what are standards, how are standards arrived at, how are they related to NEP, and why are we, listening to all of this? Because all of it related to certification, and how are NASSCOM certification going to be helping you in accumulating credit, and how are they going to be contributing towards your continuous skilling journey? So, Namrata, I will just pass on this to you, over to you, and I'll be here to take any questions. If you guys can put it in Q&A, and perhaps we'll stop as and when needed.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Anjana, so much for introducing me. So I really hope that today's session is beneficial for all of you and you gain something out of today's session. Nasti vidya samo bandhu, nasti vidya samha suhet, nasti vidya samam vitam, nasti vidya samam sukham. There is no friend, no companion, no wealth, or no bliss as great as Vidya. India has been a pioneer of education. Takshila University, the first university of the world, was established in 700 BC in India. And we all know about the great Nalanda University. It is only in India that education is worshipped as Ma Saraswati. And we have been always doing efforts to ensure best education should be imparted to the children and youth of this country. Keeping this tradition alive, NEP was introduced in 2020. So let us first quickly see what NEP is, and then we'll move to the other aspects of this presentation. So I hope everyone is able to view my screen.
Yes, it is up.
Perfect. Okay. So as I said, let's first understand quickly what NEP is. NEP, or New Education Policy, has a transformative approach. We all know that the current education doesn't make our youth employable. The new education policy talks about skilling and academics together and removing the distinction between the two. It talks about assignment of credits for any learning and provision of storing them. It also stresses on lifelong learning. Now, to achieve this vision of NEP and the objective of NEP, and to operationalize this NEP policy, National Credit Framework has been developed. Now, before we actually look at the details of National Credit Framework, let us understand few terms. Under the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, we have Sector Skill Council, which are autonomous industry bodies by NSDC. These SSCs create occupational standards and qualifications called job roles by conducting skill gap studies. There are around 36 SSCs in India, just like agriculture, automotive, and of course, SSC, NASCOM. Now let us understand that, what do these specifically, these SSCs do? Now these SSCs create job standards. Now when I talk about job standards, what are these job standards? Now these job standards, with the help of industry group. Now industry group will represent a body of people from different organizations for that particular industry. Now when I talk about SSC NASCOM, there was there was a research which was conducted by BCG few years ago, and then in the research it came up that these are the future technologies which will be coming up. Now once we knew that these are the future technologies, we, with the help of a leading research firm Zinov, created different standards under those future technologies. Now there was a work group which was created, and that work group actually consisted of people from different organizations. Now for example, I'll talk about cloud computing. Cloud computing came out to be one of the future technologies. So we as SSC NASCOM, we created a work group, and under that work group there were various job roles which were defined by that work group, saying that in this technology these are the various job roles which would be there in the future. Now these job roles, for example, I'll talk about is cloud application developer. Now for this particular job role, this is called a job role. Similarly, we have cloud architect, and there are various job roles which came up as a part of this technology. Now let's look at one job role which is called cloud application developer. Now what will this cloud application developer do? This person, there were, again from that work group only, there were list of activities or list of competencies which were defined that cloud application developer will do these set of activities. Now if you actually see towards the right, these are the various competencies which have been defined, and we call them as national occupational standards. Let me just show you a NOS sheet as well, which talks about this technology or these NOS details in detail. Now, if you actually see, this is one of the NOS sheets. There are the various job roles which have been defined under that particular technology by that work group itself. And towards the right, we have these NOSes or the list of competencies which that particular person of that job role will do. Now, this is further segregated to something called PCs, which is called performance criteria. Now, for example, if this is one NOS, or we call it as National Occupational Standard, perform business case analysis and provide domain consulting for cloud implementation. Now, what would a person do under that particular competency? That those details have also been defined as performance criteria. So this is how the standards are created. Once these standards are created by the work group, then we go back to the
Namrata, can you make it full screen?
Yeah. Once these job standards are created, we go back to NSDC and we take their approval, and that's how these standards are then used by various industries. So basically the standards are created so that there is an alignment that these are the present job roles in that particular industry, and those job roles can then be adopted by different organizations. They can make changes on those job roles depending on their requirement and then take it there. So just to standardize the entire process, these job standards are created. This is one important thing. Next thing is the NSQF alignment. Now, this is one word that, would hear quite often as we proceed in this presentation, that what exactly is NSQF? Now, this is a framework which, depending on your levels of knowledge, skills, and aptitude, and on the learning outcome, these levels are defined. Initially, it was from level 1 to 10, and now with the new NCRF coming up, these levels are from 1 to 8. Now, I'll just give you an example of an NSQF level. Now, for example, a person who's at NSQF level 2 is someone who has done education till grade 8, or there, and another thing is there's no experience which is required, right? And this is the number of hours of learning. So then that person is considered at level 2. In case you have to go to level above that, let's say 2.5, then you should be at grade 9 or grade 8 pass pursuing. So where there are various levels basis on your academics, basis on your experience, that level has been defined by NCVT and NSDC, that a person will fall at what level. So as I said, that these levels are till 1 to 8. So as we proceed in the presentation, as we go further, we look at these things in detail. So I'll just take a little pause here and first, take if there are any questions related to these standards or these NOSes.
Yeah, so Namrata, I don't see any relevant question except, I did see one question which was more from what is the job opportunity if I take the standard and do the certification, which perhaps we will answer. There's one part I think it'll be relevant for the audience if you talk about a bit about, what does us, when you said different level and there are standard, maybe they sound very much like jargons to somebody who is new to this. So it would be nice to give a parallel example in a typical traditional education. For example, if you're class 5th, this is how it will be. And if you're class 10th, this is how it will be. That kind of example.
Okay, sure, Anjana. So I'll just proceed, and once I introduce NCRF, I think things would be pretty clear by then. And if not, then we can explain them in detail. Okay, so now moving on. As already stated, NEP actual implementation would be through National Credit Framework. In our vision of making India the skill capital of the world, NCRF has combined education, skilling, and blended learning. Its major focus is on vocational education and would provide skilling at every level and would fulfill our dream of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, when I talk about National Credit Framework, why is this being talked about so much? Now, very first thing about this particular credit framework is that it is an inclusive umbrella, and it has been jointly developed by UGC, AICTE, NCVT, NIOS, NIOS is Open Schooling, CBSE, NCRT, Department of School Education, Higher Education, Ministry of Education, Skill Development. So everyone has come together and has developed this National Credit Framework. Another very, very important thing is that this particular framework, it talks about creditization of all learning, whether this learning is coming from academics, from vocational training, from experiential learning, and it also provides a mechanism to integrate all these learnings into credits. Now, there is also a provision of imparting education in various regional languages. Now, whatever credits you would be gaining through these various forms of learning, these will be accumulated in something called academic bank of credits. And then you can use them as and when required. So that is why this particular framework is being talked about so much. Another important aspect about NCRF, if you actually see this particular um, diagram. Now, this is a three-dimensional diagram where, academic, skilling, experiential learning, everything has come on one platform. Um, and it also talks about, as I said, learning or creditization of all these learnings. Now let us, as I said, that the NSQF level, it is the entry level, is still 1 to 8. There are different levels which have been explained, which I just shared with you that document. I'll also put that document in the chat for your reference. Now, if a person would have to move from, let's say, level 4, level 5 to 5.5, then the person would have to complete UG or diploma plus experience. Now, what is experience here? Experience is the relevant experience in a particular job role which has been defined for that particular job role. Or the person should be 12th plus experience. Again, that experience is that relevant experience related to a particular job role. That's how the student will be able to move from one level to the other level. Now, if you actually look at down below, this has been explained clearly, especially the x-axis, which is the academic axis. It has been clearly explained that 0 to 4 is the school system. 4.5 to 8 is the higher education system. Up till class 5, if you have done class 5, you are at NSQF level 1. And to move from level 1 to level 2, you have to do class 8. So it has been clearly defined. And after class 8, for every year of learning, student will get 0.5 level. Class 9th is 2.5 and 10 is at level 3. UG is 4.5, UG2 is 5, till level 8, which is a PhD. Now, when I talk about the skill axis, which is on y-axis, it also has levels completely synchronized with academics. And then we have levels also basis on your experiential learning, which talks about whether you are at an entry level or a proficient or expert or master level. Now, in the next slide, if you actually see, is the definition of these various proficiencies, which you actually see in the last slide. Then some of the important things that this particular framework talks about is that the total learning hours should be 1200 per year across school, across vocational training, across higher education or skilling. And this will give you 40 credits. So 1200 hours of learning will give you 40 credits. And in case if a learner wants to have more credits than 40, then they can do so by doing some extra courses, by doing internship. So that's how those extra credits will also be given to the learner. And as I said, all these things will be stored in your bank of credit. There'll be a digital storage, and we can redeem those credits as and when required. Now, redemption of credit is something which is yet to be shared. So it is not, it has not yet come in the public domain. But till here, that all these credits can be stored and we can use them. Now, moving on. Now, for a learner, for a student, why is this important? Because as I said, that the learning would now be classroom oriented, on-the-job training. You can earn credits by doing community work, by doing internship, tutorials, lab, through blended learning, experiential learning, even sports, performing arts. Everything has been included in this. But only one point which has to be kept in mind is it is subject to assessment. So whatever you do, you have to clear the assessment, and then you would be able to get those credits. So basically, if I just put it in a nutshell, this particular framework shows no distinction among various ways of learning. It is not that you only have to learn through academics. There are various ways of learning. You do that, you clear the assessment, and you would get credits, and you can redeem those credits. Now, for industry, how is this beneficial? Now, there are a lot of organizations which do these trainings for their employees, maybe for upskilling, for reskilling. Now, these industries, they can actually create the modules, get them NOS aligned, and if the employee would do that course which is actually aligned with the standards, he or she would get credits, and that's how you can utilize those credits. So that's also one of the ways in terms of gaining credits, and that's how this particular framework is useful for an industry as well. Now, another important thing, as I told, that one very important thing here is the assessment. Now, wherever you are, in case you want to move to the next level, you have to clear an assessment. Now, in this particular diagram, if you actually see, these bold red lines are the assessment bands. Now, 9th and 10th, they fall in the same assessment band. 1200 hours of class 10th can come either through academics or through vocational training. It will lead you to level 3 and 40 credits. So it is one framework, as both academics and vocational are on one platform. So this is something which is very, very important and very very beneficial to understand, that how you can move from level 1 to level 2 and so on, and how the credits would be given to a learner. So this we
There are a
have
couple of questions. I thought if we can take those. For example, I just assume your UG 1, 2, 3 meant first year, second year, third year respectively. There is a question on, for example, as a fresher, for example, after college, what should be a good NSQF level to start any course with? What is the level at which of NSQF that one can take a course? And then if there are 5th to 8th standard, where do they take an assessment? Where can they give the assessment?
So that assessment is completely depends on who is framing. Now, if there could be an assessment for the school, the assessment can be done by a school, or maybe if you're doing let's say a diploma, then from the institution, from where you are doing the diploma, that can take the assessment. The only thing is that the assessment has to be very clear, and it has to be done in a proper way. So it completely depends on that organization or that institute from where you are doing it. So this is one thing. Second thing about from where you can start, I'll just reshare my screen, which clearly defines that at what level is your is from where you can begin. For example, if you are I'll just move to this particular just give me a minute.
Namrata, there are SSC, our website of SSC also have a lot of assessments. So where learners can go and pick any, aligned assessment which is to NSQF certain levels, but those are to
Absolutely.
ITS job roles.
Absolutely. So those assessments are job role specific assessment. Now, for example, we have a job role of data entry operator. Now, that job role is at NSQF level 3. Now, NSQF level 3, let's say a person who's I'm just giving an example, a person who's completed class 10th will be at NSQF level 3. So the person can go on our website and can do that assessment. The person will be qualified that this person has cleared the assessment for this particular job role, which is at this level.
Also, there is a question which is what is the implication of credits for the state that do not follow NEP?
So as far as I know, it will be important, and it will be a mandate for everyone to follow NEP. And similarly, NCRF, because all the learning is coming under NCRF, so all the institutions have to follow any NCRF National Credit Framework. This is still in the public domain. It is there on the website. The government has asked everyone to give their suggestions, their recommendations on this. In case we want to give any recommendation, we can go on the website, we can give them recommendation, and very soon it will be launched.
Sure. So I have put our SSC website address for everybody to go and refer. By the way, SSC starts from very, lower credit levels, and you can go and refer to these ones. Take the respective assessment. How will this assessment be useful for you? Somebody has asked, how do you use this credit? So when you give this assessment, you technically qualify about that level like Namrata showed. And that means you can apply for such jobs. You will be considered for that job. Obviously, you'll have to still give interview and all of those things. But then your level of qualification will be past that. So that is what Namrata, they were asking, what will I do with this credit?
Yeah, so with these credits, now supposing if you have accumulated, let's say 200 credits, so in terms of redemption, as I said, that is still yet to come, that how we can redeem those credits. Now maybe, let's say you are at level 10 and you have a particular credit, you can directly move to the next level if you fulfill that criteria of number of credits at that particular level.
There are a lot of questions of, especially in one, where to take assessment. Number two, how to use these credits. And, and also where do I belong? Which level do I belong? If I have done a graduation, if I've done a post-graduation. And there are a lot of questions still on that area. And
okay. So let me just go back to this particular thing again. So if we actually see this, let's say I'll go one by one. If you have done education till class 5, I hope everyone is able to see this. If you have done till class 5, you are at level 1. If you have done if you academically, if you have done class 8, then you are at level 2. Class 9th means you are at level 2.5. Class 10th is level 3. Similarly, class 12th is level 4. And then we'll move on to the higher education, which is UG1 is at level 5, UG2 is also at level 5, UG3 at 5.5, UG4 or post graduation 1 is at level 6, PG2 is at 6.5, and then PhD is at level 8. So I'll also share this document, which is there in the public domain, which has the explanation of all these things, which is there in the PPT, that if you academically, if you have done this, then you are at which level. So Anjana, I'll just put that document in the chat window.
Yeah, you can move forward, Namrata. Perhaps we'll share the link of where our NSQF level on SSC website.
Sure. Now moving on. Now that we know what NCRF is, which will be launched very soon, and every learning will be credit based. Now, what's in it for us? I mean, how will it be beneficial if you do a FutureSkill Prime course? Then how would this help you? Now we have around 167 aligned courses on the platform. Now, when I say aligned courses, means that these courses are mapped with our standards, which are approved standards. And if you do any of these courses, you will get a credit. Now, how would you get credit? Now, with whatever I explained there is, now supposing, as I said, that, for 37 hours course, you will get 1 credit. And then because 1 credit is equivalent to 40 hours. So similarly, a 600-hour course will give you 20 credits. And a course of 20 hours will give you 0.5 credits. So it means it will be very, very beneficial, because now everything will become credit based. All the learning will become credit based. So if you do these courses on the platform, and again, very important thing is it should be subject to assessment. It's not that the course is done and the credits can be claimed. No, there should be an assessment which should be cleared. Only then you would be eligible to get those credits. So that's the benefit of doing the assessment and the courses on FutureSkills Prime. So Anjana, from my side, I am done.
So
and
I'm just addressing one very, very important part. A lot of questions are there. I was just looking at the questions, and a lot of them about what if I've done double post graduation? What if I've done one, undergraduate? So see, the credit system and the blended form of the NEP focuses on training, vocational training, and blending education with it, and having why are you accumulating these credits? It's also important to have a hands-on in what you do. So and a lot of people are not able to pursue their education. For example, if you just discontinued your education at 10th and then you went to let's say a mechanic and started learning something, let's say AC repairing. I'm just taking a very hypothetical example. And now you have done it for a couple of years, but you have no proof, because these are like blue collar jobs. You really don't have a, slip to show that you work for such a, but what are what parts. So then what happens is, what is the government saying is, we want to recognize what you've done for 2 years, whatever you've done, right? Now you can go and give a, assessment at the level of 2 years plus 2 years, and then if you're able to pass, it kind of gives the tick mark saying you're 12 pass now. I hope it answers a lot of questions there. And with respect to why are we talking about it, why are we even doing this session, is we understood a lot of people don't understand what is the benefit of FutureSkills Prime, doing a course on FutureSkills Prime, and what is the benefit of doing NASSCOM certificate. Why do we have an assessment which is paid? Why do we have a proctored assessment? There are a lot of questions, right? Why do I have to pay 600 rupees? Because it is proctored, it is done by an external agency. We don't do it. It's done on metal. And so hence it's technically we pay the agency, and you can pick a free course and still you'll have to pay for the assessment. Now, why? Because we have mapped the course going backward to how Namrata showed the credit equivalence. All the courses, whatever you start, which comes under the yellow tab on FutureSkills Prime saying government affiliated, and most of them have a first card describing what is that you're learning in it. It mentions the NOS, and if you accumulate so many NOSes, what is the credit equivalence of it? That is also very clearly defined on the FutureSkills Prime platform. So our idea is to make you understand that these are not going to be useless. These are not certificate like any XYZ you accumulate and like a badge, which is not going to be useful in the future. These credit will be soon linked to DigiLocker and they will get accumulated under your Aadhaar and your ID. They can be used, and that is yet to come in the final.
Absolutely.
But they can be used for certain period of time. It will be out maybe as of now. I think Namrata had spoken about 7 years, and it we don't know, but they will be valid for some number of years, where you'll have to perhaps reskill towards the end and say, okay, maybe yes, I'm still doing something. I see a lot of questions on how, I've done this, now what should I do? I've done post-graduation, graduation, and then there are, I've done this is my background, I don't have an experience in this, so can I get a job? Now, in order to get a job, you need to do something which is job aligned. All our certification are job aligned. That's the first step. I'm not saying that will immediately get you a job, but that will make you a first basic criteria of to be eligible for that job. We are also facilitating, we're trying to see if there are a lot of hands-on on the platform. There are a lot of hands-on with respect to data, at least, and a lot of that we are trying with other V labs, which you can do. Besides that, we are also trying to see if there are internship opportunities, which we did only for Nari Shakti and only for women who are trying to, women, both girls from college plus women who are trying to come back to workforce, to provide them internship to get that hands-on training. However, this is the first step. The next consecutive step, we are working on it. So I don't know if Sneha has joined us. Let me see. Okay, so Sneha is still not here. I see a lot of other people. There are like 4 questions on same area, by the way.
So I could also see a lot of questions. One very, very important thing is that this document is still not launched. They are still in the process of taking feedback from the people. So as of now, because I saw some question, can I go on NSQF website and give the assessments? No, as of now, this is just in, this is going to be launched. So, it is not launched yet. So, and in terms of assessments, it is not the assessment will come on a particular website. Wherever you are doing your course, let's say your PG, your wherever you are doing your internship from, that particular organization will only create those assessments, and you would have to give that assessment, and that's how the credits would be given to you. As of now, if a lot of people said that I am at this level, how many credits do I have? How do I check? Right now, there is no facility, because this is still in the pre-launch stage.
Okay, so I saw one question, if these assessments are live. Yes, these assessments are live. If you go to FutureSkills Prime website right now, you can go to a respective technology. FutureSkills Prime is only about futuristic technology. We talk about 10 emerging technology. Now, what if you want to go to legacy technology? Then you go to SSC nasscom website, and we have still job roles aligned. By the way, we do from school assessment to, I'm talking about on job. You're already on job and you want to upskill, that level of assessment and certification. So we are covering a very wide range here, from 10th, I would say 10th, and we also do, we also thinking of, we also align with other certification. That link I have put, where you can go and see what are the job roles. So everything that SSC does, like Namrata said, we have to go back to see what is relevant to the industry. So we don't do education related, courseware. We do what is job aligned. So if you are, can you be a customer service associate? Can you be somebody who can be a data entry operator? So can you be someone who can do a developer or software? Can you be a software developer, for example? These are so we will see if there is a job in the industry, and then map the curriculum accordingly. That is where you will study. That is what you will attend as an assessment. That is what you have to pass. And this is how SSCs work. We are not colleges. So I saw Dinesh, part of our team, he has a question, Amrita. Many university feel they can take any course and award which may or may not be NSQF aligned. Do they still can award credit?
No. It is a mandate that any course for which the credit should be given, that should be NSQF aligned. Only then, there'll be credits. So I'll just give you an example. There are AWS courses. I mean, all these courses, mostly OEM courses. Now they are also in the process of getting their courses as NSQF aligned, so that any learner who takes these courses would get credit. So we just recently we got courses of Red Hat and AWS aligned, NSQF aligned, and any learner who would do a particular course would get those particular credits for doing that course.
Okay, since I saw a lot of questions on where can I get a job and what can I get a job, I'm putting our SSC NASSCOM website. You can see a talent connect here. Once you get any certificate, you can go and upload your CV there. There are job opportunities that are listed. There are job mailers that you will be informed about depending on the skill you update yourself on, and then you can respectively apply. Now, I see a lot of question on NSQF. When we go to university, what we need to check on the basis of NSQF. So, Namrata.
Yeah. So I shared one diagram, and I have also shared the document with you, which clearly defines that supposing if you are, let's say you have done a post-graduation, right? So post-graduation means that you could be at a level 6. And in case you want to move to the next level, then you would have to do another hours of learning, to get 40 credits. Now these 40 credits, if you want to get, you can either get it through enrolling in another academic program, or you can do it by doing some internship, by doing OGT, by doing apprenticeship program. So basically you have to get 40 credits to move to the next NSQF level.
So he's saying, I am doing BCA from Chandigarh. How can I check whether it is under NSQF? Like Namrata said, NSQF alignment is a mandatory thing. You cannot have, why is there a level? Think about it, right? What if I open a university today and I prescribe what I want to? And then you will not be able to get a job because I had something of my own. So there has to be some standard, right? That I do things within a jurisdiction of a country. Logically, if you think about it, within a jurisdiction of a country, you are doing certain things for the future generation of that country. So obviously there will be somebody setting a standard, somebody telling you what are, they may not exactly define, but they'll give you a broad grid lines. You have to fall within this to this. Within this you can choose something.
Yeah. And another thing is there was this question on BCA, so you don't really have to go back and check the NSQF level. If you are in, let's say you are class 12, automatically it means that you are at 4.5 level. In case you have done undergraduation, or you are doing undergraduation maybe first year, it automatically means that you are at a particular level, because you have given all those exams and all those assessments. So you don't really have to go somewhere and check that what is my NSQF level. It's there, that if you are class 12th, means you are at level 4. If you are in UG 1, means that you are at 4.5.
Yeah. And what are we talking about? We are talking about industry mapping. So see, understand it very clearly. You've done some study, for example, if you have done a regular study and regular online, everything included, as in if you've, online BCA or online BCom or whatever, right? It's a college that you've done it from. After completing it, you want to now do something in a vocational, hands-on, and also, you want to learn and do internship and all. We are giving you that what SSC does, what a sector skill council does. All the NSQF that we have are mapped to a level. All the certification we have will ensure that you pass that level. And then what are we talking about? Everything is job mapped. So we do not just give you something about philanthropy, for example, where I'm not able to align it to a job. Just we are not just doing we are not just doing any courses or any curriculum. We're doing which is industry aligned and job aligned, and we're mapping it back to the industry. That's what we mean by our alignment. Yeah, so somebody is asking if their university courses are under the purview of NSQF. Yes, that's what I answered just now. Yes, all universities will fall under it, and it cannot be that you can just make any curriculum without aligning it.
Right.
So, Namrata, I think there are a lot of people are confused because they think that this is different and that is different. And I think now I hope it's clear.
Yeah.
So where can we find NSQF criteria and skill description for the role of school teachers?
So that's a very different thing. So not specifically for school teachers, because this has been decided in terms of, what is your in terms of your academics, where are you, in terms of job experience, where are you. But school teacher has become very, very specific thing. So that is, this is a very generalized thing.
I think a very appropriate question, and which is what we have answered, that I have graduated from XYZ, and if I do an SSC assessment and get the credit, can I use it for job interviews? The answer is yes. That is what we are here. That is what we are trying to even evangelize or even talk about and do this session for. So I see some people raising hand. Maybe I'll just allow one person to talk. Ajit, can you talk and ask your question?
Yeah, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, we can hear you.
What I'm asking is, I am into cybersecurity domain. I have done my PG as well as I have 15 years experience. So that can credit will be enhance my skill set. What if I go for the current skill set which you are published in your nasscom website? Can it will be credited?
Yes, Ajit. So I'll just mute you first because I can hear some background. So yes, that's what we mean. What we are talking about is so if you're a professional, right, how do you upskill yourself? So on FutureSkills Prime, we have all emerging technologies. Cybersecurity is one of them. So if you're already pursuing something, let's say you're at a lower end of cybersecurity, you want to upgrade yourself, go forward, then there are number of courses that we have. They are equivalent to some credit. Now number one is you're already working, so how do you know that it will be immediately useful, right? So let's say you continue working, but tomorrow when this digilocker mapping happens and all your credit gets into your digilocker, all of these courses that you've done are also going to fetch you some credit, and when you put it in your CV, it will also be along with the on job that you have done. So it should together add and make you a probable candidate to other place when you, or within your organization. If you want to apply for a higher role, you can always say, I have done this certifications, and these are approved by NSDC, and this is what is the credit level, and I've also done so much of experience. So that's what the case we are building here. So yes, so I'll just take one more question. I think we have answered a lot of questions today. Everybody is, I hope this has been a very good session because I see a lot of people participating. Kunal, would you like to ask your question? So you can unmute
Hello.
yourself. Yeah, we can hear you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Um, Hello.
We can hear you.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, may I started my Google Cloud Computing with Kubernetes courses? And ma'am, but I didn't know. Um, I didn't know which align courses and how to align, and I may have facing some difficulties, ma'am.
So, if you've done a Google course with Kubernetes, for example, on FutureSkills Prime also we have a similar GCCF course with Kubernetes, I believe. It is already aligned and we have the mapping also. So you can go and refer to that card and see what is it aligned to, what is the credit equivalence, then also see which are the job roles where it is being used. All of that is there on our platform. Somebody also asked me, where can I apply for a job? We have a Talent Connect portal. It is there on SSC website. Also, if you go to FutureSkills Prime, you can from there also go to Talent Connect. So once you do a NASCOM certificate, you can go to Talent Connect, update your CV and update your skill and also update your certificate. Okay, so there is something in English speaking. Is English speaking necessary? So Namrata, I think you did say that there are a lot of local languages also that we have. So if you can just please.
Yes, so now, with this credit framework coming up, it will also recognize courses or your learning done in regional languages, because at a prime minister level, there's a lot of focus on learning in various languages, because India is a land of languages. So it is not just in English. If you do any course, any learning, OGT, any form of learning in a regional language, then also, and you clear the assessment, then also you're eligible for credits.
So there is a question, is there any support team? So there is no support team, but if you go to FutureSkills Prime, there is a competency diagnostic, which you can go and attend, and it will see what you currently know, what are the areas, you have it as some questionnaire. It's first time competency diagnostic is free, and after that it's 100 rupees. So you can go and attend it. It will tell you which are the areas you are good in. It will map and which are the areas you need to improve according to what you want to become, and then guide you to respective courses. You can also take the help of chatbot if you want to, which will help you in if you just put in the chatbot, right? I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. So it will answer you. It will try to map whatever is the courses on them. And it's a very fairly simple platform. You can go and navigate. If you want to really browse through and see, there are job role wise courses. You can filter it job role wise and see which is the job role you're interested in. After that, you can buy assessments for respective courses for 600 rupees with the taxes on FutureSkills Prime. SSC assessments are separate and they are priced according to whatever level they are, and whatever they have, the material also there for SSC assessments. It's there on the platform. You can go refer. There are also some training partner who does it. That is also available. All information is available on the website if you go and search for it. And then you can do that respective course, and after that you can update the CV. Right. Okay, so I see a lot of questions like, is this course available? Is that course available? So it's important to understand that you will have to go to the site to at least do that much, right? Because our agenda for this session is to cover on the framework and how is it important to, why is it important to do certification, especially how is NASCOM certificate going to add value in a long run for you. So that was the agenda, and all of this information is available on FutureSkills Prime. We will be putting, I saw a lot of people in the beginning asking me if they can take the slides. No, but we will, the video will be available. We'll put it on YouTube and it'll be available on FutureSkills Prime YouTube channel. So any more question, any last minute questions, because we are there on time. So if there are no other questions, we will close this particular session, and maybe we will schedule a similar session in the future. Okay, so there is one question. These credits are allowed universities. Okay. Right. So I think we have answered all questions, and there is a question calling, will I get a certificate for this session? No, this is not a, so you don't get any NASCOM certificate without attending assessment. And an assessment is a proctored assessment. It doesn't mean that you will be attending a session of awareness like this and you will get a certificate. No, that is not.
Anjana, one question I want to answer. There was this question that we are doing a course on cloud computing students, and how can we get credits? I mean, we give credits to our student is only when those courses are NSQF or NOS aligned. So there's a separate team. I think there's a separate discussion which happens. So only if your courses are aligned to standards, then only your students can get credits out of those courses.
Yeah, so Devi is here from our team, and she was saying if participants can put their feedback on their social media and suggest this. So we will be putting this video out, and after so many questions, I think this is one area we are really happy we started a session with. Okay, so if a lot of people asking who is the contact person, if you have any queries, you can write into me. My email address is something I'm putting in chat. I don't know if I may be able to answer all your queries, but if it is related to FutureSkills Prime and if it is related to certification, I will try and answer them. Okay, what is national e-curriculum? Do you know anything about it? Yeah, so right. So I provided my email address, and I've also provided a couple of times. I'm going to also put again SSC, NASCOM and FutureSkills Prime address, where you can go and try the different NSQF level certifications. You can start with SSC, NASCOM. There is also Talent Connect portal on SSC, NASCOM. First, go and check. There are also curriculum and courses that you can see listed on job role wise, which if it matches to you, you can apply there. If you think you are of a little more higher level, and like somebody spoke about cybersecurity, then you should go to FutureSkills Prime. Okay, so 100 rupees wala jo hai, wo competency diagnostic hai. I saw somebody saying, can you suggest what is that course? It's competency diagnostic on FutureSkills Prime. You can write it there also. You will, if you put in search, you will find it. And it also says start here. Usme bhi there is competency diagnostic. Okay. Right. So thank you, everyone. And we are over time. Thank you, Namrata, for attending and doing this session. And I hope we will be able to do another session with you.
Yeah, I hope the session was really useful and beneficial for everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.